I'm Dr. Jerry Nolan, and this is Love is the Answer. Today we're going to examine the loving skill of empathic listening, or put another way, when I'm deaf, I'm dumb. Dr. Stephen Covey identifies 5 different levels of listening. I want to share these with you, partially informational, partially confession. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. The first is ignoring, where you just don't even want to hear what the person said, probably because you've heard it all before. As a history teacher, you'd have this student who, got their hand up, want to answer it, but you know that the answer is going to include either Nostradamus, the Illuminati, or the Kennedy assassination. And you've heard it all before. As an administrator, the staff member who wants to talk about the tardy policy again. As a superintendent, talking with board member who sees the entire progress of the district through the lens of strictly the high school athletic program. I'm confessing to you right now, I didn't want to listen to those people a whole lot. The second part is pretending to listen. Where you're looking right at them and you're like, yeah, and you think, they think you're really tuned in, but what's really happening is you're planning your next vacation in your head, or maybe the grocery list that you're putting together for after school. Third level, selective listening, hearing only what you want to hear. I'd run a staff meeting and people would be making comments about a particular topic, and then somebody would say exactly what you wanted to hear. And then you'd say, why don't you talk about that a little bit more and let them go on and on and on. Like none of the other observations were insightful. You just kind of put them out. And at the end you say, well, it seems like we're all agreed the meeting's over. The fourth level, active listening. You're looking, you're engaged, but you're not listening for understanding. What you're doing is, in your mind, you're making up your arguments to counter what the other person's saying. And so you're developing and sharpening your counterclaims so that you can win the argument and not listen for understanding. In all of these lessons, all of these levels of listening, I was really deaf to what the other person was trying to say, which makes me dumb. The good news is, there's a better way. The better way is what Stephen Covey identifies as empathic listening, where we truly understand the other and they feel understood. Empathy is about getting into the other person's frame of reference, not just listening to the words, but where are they coming from? Trying to remember, what was it like to be a student? As an administrator, remembering the challenges that teachers face and coming from that point of reference. Or in dealing with a parent, what it's like to be this particular child's parent. We have to be listening so that we understand not only intellectually the words, but also emotionally and what's going on. Experts tell us that 10% of communication is with words, 30% of communication is with tone of voice, and 60% of communication comes from other physical communication. So we need to listen not only with our ears, but also with our eyes and with our hearts to what is said, but also maybe to what's not said, what's nonverbal. Here's an example. I'm not upset. Okay. I'm not upset. Ooh, maybe a little different. I'm not upset. Okay. In all 3 cases, the person said, I'm not upset. Second case, tone of voice, maybe give you a little different story. Third one, not only tone of voice, but nonverbal communication. Empathic listening is not easy. It's really difficult. It can be very difficult to understand the other person's paradigm. What is it like to be a student who's on their own at the age of 17? What it's like to have 4 kids and be a single parent. What's it like to have a high needs, special need student? Or a colleague who's going through a struggle, any kind of struggle, physical, social, emotional, of any kind. It takes a lot of work. The beauty is that when the other person is truly understood, they just decompress. It's like giving them psychological oxygen. They can breathe again. They feel understood, affirmed, validated, appreciated. We've all been in those conversations where the person comes in just tight as a drum, and if they feel really understood, it's like, and now they're back at peace, and back at ease. Caveat: empathy is not necessarily agreement. We want to fully understand the other person. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to agree. But if they feel understood, if they feel like they've truly been listened to, then it makes it a whole lot easier to disagree agreeably. So why is this love? Because even if it's only for a brief time, we've yielded our own interest. We've put ourselves in the back seat and we've put the other person first. And when we do that with people, when we listen to them, they feel loved. Listening is one of the most common acts of love that we can offer, and the benefits are priceless. What it does for relationships is frankly magical. Sorry about that. Magical. And if we're not deaf, then we are loving. We hope you enjoyed this segment on listening. Please read our companion blog at drjerrynolan.com. View our other videos on Love is the Answer. Follow us on Facebook. And as always, on behalf of me and my family, we wish you an abundance of peace and love.